What if school textbooks skipped the weirdest chapters? Imagine a town where people could not stop dancing. In July 1518, Strasbourg's streets filled with frantic dancers. Men, women, even children twirled for days without rest. Physicians blamed hot blood and urged more music. The mayor hired musicians, hoping rhythm would calm them. Instead, the dancing spread like a contagious fever. Some dancers collapsed. Some died from exhaustion. Historians still debate whether ergot poisoning or mass hysteria sparked it. Now, picture a dead pope being put on trial. In 897, Pope Formosus lay rotting in a tomb. His successor, Pope Stephen VI, ordered the corpse's exhumation. The corpse, strapped to a throne, faced accusations of perjury. Cardinals shouted. The dead pope's hand was cut off. The trial ended with the corpse's removal and burial. The scandal shocked medieval Europe and ruined Stephen's reign. Next, think of a war fought against birds. In 1932, Australia declared war on emus. Farmers complained that emus destroyed wheat fields after World War I. The government sent soldiers armed with machine guns. Emus scattered, outran bullets, and kept feasting. After weeks of futile shooting, the army withdrew. The Emu War became a legendary defeat for humans. Now travel to 1618, Prague's council chambers. Out. A heated argument erupted over religious rights. A furious noble hurled a Catholic official out the window. He fell 3 stories, broke his neck, and died. That act sparked the 30 Years' War, a continent-wide conflict. History repeats this defenestration story in 1948, too. But the first one still defines the term defenestration. Fast forward to the 1904 St. Louis Olympics. The marathon course stretched over 24 miles of dusty roads. Thomas Hicks, a British runner, ate raw meat and wine during the race. He also took strychnine, a poison that stimulates the heart. Spectators cheered as he staggered past the finish line. He won, but collapsed, nearly dying from the poison. The marathon scandal taught the world about dangerous doping. Imagine a medieval rivalry over a wooden bucket. In 1325, the city of Modena stole a bucket from Bologna. Bologna demanded its return, sparking a full-scale war. Soldiers clashed, swords clanged, and townsfolk cheered. The battle ended with Modena's victory and the bucket's display. Centuries later, the bucket still hangs in a Modena museum. Now, picture a river of sugary syrup flowing through a city. On January 15, 1919, Boston's North End stored 2.3 million gallons of molasses in a tank. A crack released the thick liquid, flooding streets at 35 mph. The wave destroyed houses, killed 21 people, and left a sticky scent for months. The disaster prompted stricter building codes and engineering standards. Let's shift to a market that turned into a financial nightmare. In the 1630s, Dutch merchants traded tulip bulbs as luxury items. Tulip prices skyrocketed, reaching the cost of a house. Speculators bought bulbs on credit, hoping to sell higher. When the market crashed, fortunes vanished overnight. Tulip mania remains a cautionary tale of speculative bubbles. Now consider a flood of liquid Goldwell beer. In 1814, London's Horseferry Road stored 323,000 pints of beer in a cellar. A burst pipe released the brew, flooding the street. The torrent washed away carts, knocked down pedestrians, and ruined clothing. 4 people drowned in the sudden foam. The incident reminded authorities to improve pipe safety. Another strange clash involved a tiny island and a giant. In 1974, the Republic of Kiribati declared war on the United States. Kiribati's tiny navy, composed of fishing boats, claimed sovereignty over a Pacific atoll. The U.S. ignored the declaration, and the war faded without a shot. It highlights how micronations can spark absurd diplomatic headlines. Let's explore a medieval experiment with human corpses. In 1726, the French king ordered a public execution of a condemned thief. The thief's body was displayed for 3 days, then buried. Later, the same corpse was used for anatomical studies. Students dissected the body, learning anatomy firsthand. This practice sparked debates about ethics in medical education. Now imagine a town that vanished under a cloud of ash. In 1783, Iceland's Laki volcano erupted for 8 months. The eruption released toxic gases that drifted across Europe. Farmers reported dead livestock and strange sky colors. The Laki haze caused thousands of deaths in Iceland alone. It also inspired literary works about apocalyptic skies. Consider a city that turned its streets into a giant chessboard. In 1969, the Soviet Union staged a human chess performance in Moscow. Hundreds of volunteers dressed as pieces moving across a painted board. The event celebrated the anniversary of the October Revolution. It blended propaganda with absurd spectacle, confusing onlookers. Now think of a battle fought with vegetables. In 1917, the Russian village of Krasny Kholm held a potato war. Neighbors argued over a shared field of potatoes. They threw spuds instead of bullets, covering each other in mush. The absurd fight ended with a communal feast. It showed how scarcity can turn food into weapons. Let's revisit the Emu War's lesser-known sequel. In 1946, Australia faced a rabbit plague that ate crops. The government deployed soldiers with machine guns, similar to the EMU effort. Rabbits multiplied faster than bullets, rendering the campaign futile. Both wars illustrate how nature can outsmart military might. Now travel to 1930s Japan, where a train vanished without a trace. The mysterious train of Kyoto disappeared during a heavy fog. No tracks were damaged, no passengers found. Investigators blamed a rare atmospheric phenomenon called a heat haze. The story remains a local legend of ghostly locomotives. Imagine a city where people were once forced to wear red hats. In 16th century England, sumptuary laws required the poor to wear wool caps. The law aimed to maintain class distinctions and boost the wool trade. Those who disobeyed faced fines or public shaming. The strange dress code reveals how governments once regulated fashion. Now picture a war sparked by a single pair of shoes. In 1859, the town of Gibeon, Nebraska, ran out of shoes for its militia. A neighboring tribe offered boots in exchange for land. The tribe accepted, leading to a brief territorial dispute. The shoe war ended when the U.S. government intervened. It shows how mundane items can ignite conflict. Let's examine the Great Smog of 1952, a fog that turned lethal. London's coal fires released soot, sulfur, and smoke into the air. A stagnant weather pattern trapped pollutants over the city. Thousands suffocated, and hospitals overflowed with breathing patients. The disaster forced the UK to pass clean air legislation. Now consider the phantom time hypothesis, a fringe theory. Proponents claim that roughly 300 years of history were fabricated. They argue that the early Middle Ages never existed. Scholars debunk the claim with archaeological and astronomical evidence. The theory remains a curious footnote in historiography. Finally, imagine a ruler who declared war on the moon. In 1974, the tiny nation of Sealand claimed lunar sovereignty. Sealand's leader announced a moon defense force to protect the island. No rockets were built, but the declaration made headlines. It underscores how ambition can outpace technology. These bizarre episodes slipped past school lessons, yet they shaped cultures. They remind us that history isn't just battles and dates. It's also filled with oddities, mistakes, and unexpected twists. If you enjoyed these strange stories, click the next video for more hidden history.